Alright guys, on today's video, I'm gonna be trying to fix or upgrade my Honda Civic's little armrest here. So let's get started. This one here is from an Integra, and this was my previous one, which came with the car, and as you guys can see, it's pretty crusty. It's got, I don't know what that is, it's like oil or black, I don't know what that is, but it looks like it's been painted or something. So I have been keeping my eye out for a Honda one, because this is from an Acura from my generation, and I managed to find one a few months back, I think. Now, for those of you who don't know, I'm Jay, and this is Project GoodSpeed, where I mostly just work on my little hatchback here. Now, these little Civics are getting a little bit more rare to find around here in Cali. That goes as well for the parts. My armrest right there is gray, and that is the best one I've been able to find at the junkyard over the past couple months. And if you try to buy that particular piece online, they're charging at least $100. And that is ridiculous for a Honda. I'm not paying that. I bought that one at the junkyard for like 20 bucks, I think. I'm not sure, but it was definitely less than 100. I never really know why it's touching that side only and not this side. But I threw it in there. I replaced my old one and I threw this one in here. I managed to kind of like jiggle it around to see if I can straighten it out, but that's as best as I can get it. Now, these armrests are definitely clutch for long drives or basically just road trips, right? They let you just relax, and even acted as a cup holder for me for years. At least that one over there did. That one's from my old days. That one actually came with the car and doesn't actually fit, as you guys can see. Kind of just like raises up there, whereas this one sits flush, like it's supposed to. Now, in a previous video, I actually deep cleaned the entire interior of this little hatchback, and I had to use a steamer to get certain parts clean, and I tried it out on the armrest, thinking it was fabric and I'd be able to clean it right away. However, it is not fabric, like the top piece, it's actually plastic. So I kind of just damaged the finish on there, and it looks like I sanded the top of it, right? It doesn't look or feel that great. That particular issue doesn't bother me all that much. It's the color that bothers me the most, because it doesn't match the rest of the interior. So this is the upper piece, you guys can see. I've actually removed the cover so we can actually get to the issues, but that's basically what I'm working with here. As you guys can see here, I've already moved some of these pieces here, the screws that hold this top piece together. And this, like I said, it's plastic, so it's gonna be a little hard to adhere this fabric onto this plastic without breaking it. I might end up going through a couple different options here before I even am able to do this, or if I'm not gonna be able to do it at all. This is what we're working with. This is the plastic, and you guys can see it looks like it's been sanded down because the finish is basically just gone in that area. This is the fabric I got on eBay, and it's actually for the newer generation Civics from like 96 and up, I believe. I'm gonna take this and hopefully apply it on here. And I'm gonna also add this little foam piece insert that I made off of some cushion foam, which is actually pretty cushiony and actually holds my elbow pretty well. So I'm gonna hopefully not break this while I do it in the process. Ideally, I would use just this staple gun, but this is plastic and I might end up breaking it because it's gonna have to go real close to the edge and that might just snap it clean off. So here's hoping. I got a feeling it's gonna break. I don't know why, but this plastic does not give me a lot of hope for like shoving a staple through it. Now, if it turns out that I can't use the gun, I basically just got some crazy glue, and I'm gonna hold off on using the spray adhesive, but I have it here just in case. And I'm only gonna be gluing the fabric and not the foam, right? Because if I glue the foam, I guess I could glue the foam onto this piece here, but I'm not gonna glue it onto the fabric because I want the fabric to stretch. Now, as far as this foam, I basically just cut it out of a pure foam cushion, and as you guys can see, it's pretty shitty. This is from the Integra one. You guys can see, it's pretty bad. But look, they used glue. They definitely didn't use staples. Now, whether you guys have this plastic style, right, and want to go into the fabric one, whether you guys want to just replace this fabric, it's pretty straightforward. If you want to just replace it, you just basically just start peeling, right? Glue, not that hard. So I'm going to start off by finding a good place to line this up. Just gonna ignore the corners for now. I might cut them later, but depending on where they land, I'm just gonna glue it there first. Man, where did that come from? Damn it. Look at that. This is why I hate using glue. Oh, now I gotta touch the fabric. Why is it on my knuckles? I might have dried already. There's one. And here's a little clamp for extra support. And I think I'm gonna put the stitching right in between these cracks here. Hopefully that'll be enough. This time I'm gonna glue both sides. Damn it. Slide, bitch, slide. Well, that's so much for the line. That's definitely not the right line that I wanted. I actually probably should have double checked to make sure that the glue wouldn't damage the fabric on like a small piece. Unfortunately, I didn't. Luckily, it didn't. So everything's looking good so far. Unfortunately, like I said, it's not meant. This fabric was not meant for this armrest, so the stitching is not gonna line up. See, ideally this is where the corner was supposed to go, but this is where my corner is. So you guys can see it's off. And also the stitching got away from me. Oh no, was it crooked? You see these little teeth here? Not really sure how I'm gonna do that. If anything, it's probably just gonna end up looking flush there, and I might have to overlook that. Do not touch the glue, damn it. It's drying. No! I ruined it. Ow! Look at that. Every time it's a different fucking finger. How did that one get on there? I still have to do the corners here. So what I'm gonna do is, I'm gonna do some relief cuts here so that I can actually get it to sit without having it to crimp. And what I'm thinking is, actually I'm just gonna do one cut right down the middle here. Just like this, boom. And now I should be able to glue it on there. Definitely need one of these clamps. These are also ideal, but one of these like flush ones, because this plastic doesn't get the corners right. This metal one definitely does. Like I said, I don't know if you guys know this by now, but I'm definitely not an expert. Look how crooked it is. Look how, I just noticed this. Look, this piece has a lot more than this little corner. I told you guys, the stitching got away from me, okay? It's set before I could fix it. So now that I've finished gluing up all the corners, as you guys can see, it's not that bad. Now I'm just gonna go over it again and glue up any of these pesky little, bubbles that kind of like get it there. As you guys can see there, raised up pieces of fabric, mainly in the corners, because that's probably what's gonna end up degrading the fastest. Okay, now a word of caution if you guys are trying this, you really do want to be careful with the glue. Gets all over your fingers. It's all over mine right now, but they're dried. And if it doesn't dry, right, look, you guys can see I damaged the fabric right there. There's partial fingerprint there, over there. Luckily, I don't have any on this side, but it could have been worse. Now I cleaned up this little plate here so everything looks nice and shiny and brand new. And moment of truth here. That's good enough, man. Check it out. It does fit. It looks like there is clearance after all. And like I said, it is crooked. Look at that. See that less of a gap here, more of a gap there. But you know, what can you expect? That's how you know it's custom, right? It doesn't work. You got to pay extra for this kind of fitment, dude. Now, this isn't actually for this car, so that's you know, part of the reason. If it was, probably would have fit. Oh, it's gonna bother me now too, because it's like slanted this way. And like I could have gotten that perfect fitment, and that's always gonna bother me. I could have done it, but damn it, that first glue. Check it out, guys. All done. So that's pretty much it. It was basically just glue all the way across, and a couple of clamps really helped to keep that thing from you know, stretching back out. Like I pointed out already, it's a little crooked from the stitching, but really not that big of an issue. Although I would say that I think the styrofoam or the leather is just sticking a little bit too much to this seat. But like I mentioned before, that was already an issue. Now all that's left is to actually just paint this black, and I've got a few ideas on how to go about doing that. It matches my shift boot. I just realized that. I didn't actually buy it for that, but that's pretty cool. You know, I wanted to find a blue stitching one, but I just couldn't find it. It wasn't available. But at least now it matches the shift boot cover. It's a little dusty. And like I mentioned before, the fabric that I used isn't actually meant for this specific Civic. So I basically just searched eBay and Amazon until I found one that was close enough, and I just took a gamble on it, and I hoped that it would be enough to actually stretch over my little armrest, and luckily enough, I picked the right one. Of course, you can still see it's not meant for this car, but I mean, it's good enough for me. Highly recommend being careful with the glue if you guys go ahead and try this, and the padding is optional. If you don't use it, I don't see there would be an issue. If anything, it'd be a lot easier to actually glue this thing and get the fitment perfect. However, I really wanted that foam insert. And if you guys are interested in that fabric, I'll put the link down in the description so you guys can take a look at it if you got a Civic like this, or a 96 and up. I believe it also fits 96 to 2001 maybe. I don't know when that generation ended, but it was meant for that specific Civic. But if you guys want to check it out, I'll put the link in the description down below, as well as any updates to however long this lasts. If there's any issues with it in the future, I'll put that in the description as well. So until next time, guys, take care and good speed.